The following contains footage of a graphic nature. Viewer discretion is advised.
I'm like, I'll get in the middle and do double stuff, so I might include that. I hope so. I like that sort of that. I like it rough. There you go. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. You are doing the Lord's work. Never change. Thank you. Great river. Very lucky. Thank you.
Early position raises to 15. There's one caller, and we call on the button with 10-10, 9-6, rainbow. This isn't a super strong hand. We have no suits, and the gap between the 9 and 6 is a bit larger than we'd like, but we do have connectivity between the cards to make straights, and our pair of 10s are key blockers for multiple straights. So on the button, we can comfortably call a single raise. The small blind and big blind both call, and we go 5 ways to a flop. The flop is pretty good, coming Queen Jack 8 rainbow. The original raiser bets out 45. A lady who limped is all in for $10, and we announce pot raising it to $230. As we're raising, Hali from our last vlog shows up and knocks my chips over.
Get out of here, man. Get out of here. $230. We pot to $230. Your finger's going to be famous. So many haters, man. Huh? Oh, you want to?
The original raiser folds, so we collect the side pot and just have to put in $10 to cover the lady who's all in. We agree to run it twice. The turn comes the 3 of clubs and then the 5 of clubs. And then the next board is the 4 of hearts and the 2 of spades. She turns over ace, king, 8-3, all spades, and needed to hit my 10 or running spades to outdraw me, so we wind up scooping the whole pot.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
We're in the small blind holding 8-8, 7-6 suited in clubs to our 8. Early position, middle position, the hijack, and the cutoff all call. We come along and the big blind can't help himself and raises it to $20. Everyone calls and we wind up going 6 ways to a flop. The flop comes down Queen 5-4 with 2 hearts. One player leads for 25 and now another announces pot. We've got the top wrap straight draw, but with 2 hearts out there and facing a bet and a raise, we don't really want to go chasing straights and we let it go. Now let's see the hand play out.
That was all us. She goes all in for 5. He calls. 3 times. They're going 3 times. Hey, get out of here. Get out of here, man. Oh, that was me all the way. Oh, no. Wow. Oh, I scooped the shit out of you guys.
You did not, sir.
I had 8-8, 7-6.
Bad fold. Well, you get 5-6.
But I didn't have the hearts. So, like, when you pot...
You didn't have the balls.
I didn't have the balls. I didn't have the balls. No, she got me.
We're playing a $15 double board bomb pot. We're 5-handed in the hijack holding king, queen, jack 5, double suited in clubs and spades. The first flop is 10-6-2 with 2 spades, and the second flop is 9-3-2 with 2 clubs. One player bets the pot of 75. There's one caller, and we have flush draws on both boards, plus some backdoor straight opportunities, and make the call. I'm not a huge fan of this, though. The problem here is that, yes, we do have 2 flush draws, and that sounds great, but none of our flush draws are to the nuts, so we run the risk of making second-best hands and getting caught between multiple players who have us beat in either direction. I think if we're going to continue here, we're better off raising to try and get this pot heads up, where we might have a shot to scoop. The button and the big blind also come along, and we're going 5 ways to the turn, and it comes down 8 of diamonds and 7 of clubs. The original bettor shoves all in for 115. There's one caller, and we call 115 as well. The button calls, and we're going 4 ways to a river with one player all in. The rivers fall the 9 of diamonds and the king of hearts, and now we have the nuts on one board and the second nuts on the other board, so we shove all in for 585 and wind up getting one caller.
I got nut second nut. Nuts on the straight board and second nut on the flush board.
Yeah.
Bad call, bad call.
What did you say? 485.
I put you on the flush. I
585. 585.
I had a straight here. I couldn't put you on the straight.
Yeah.
The red 9 was perfect. Huh?
Good hand.
Thank you, thank you.
Wow.
Very nice hand.
That was very nice.
Bad river cards with my
No, I
straight.
didn't have enough money and I needed to get people out.
You get this. That's 600.
Best dealer!
Bad.
Oh, right there. You get a camera.
Tax on 3.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Meanwhile, at table 2.
4 cents.
Oh, he stopped. Come on, keep going. There we go.
I think I should call somebody. Not all the time, but I had to call there. I was just, his bluff earned him that. I said, yeah, his bluff that you missed out on, he was played it kind of the same way. And that paid him off. It paid him off the call. Yeah, that was that cool.
35.
We're 8-handed playing a double board bomb pot. I'm in the big blind holding ace 8, 8-5 with 3 spades to our ace. The flops come down 9-6-2 with 2 diamonds and 9-8-6 with 2 clubs. We flopped a gutshot straight draw, which won't give us the nuts on the top board, and middle set plus a gutshot straight draw, also not to the nuts on the second board. In addition, there are flush draws present on both boards that we don't have, so we check. Fortunately, it's checked around. The turns come the 7 of hearts and the 5 of clubs. When it's checked to us, we bet the pot of 105. Again, I'm not a huge fan of this. We have a non-nut straight on the top board, and the flush came in on the second board. We should still be looking for pot control given we're out of position against the field. If I was on the button and it was checked to me on the turn, I could see betting at that point, but I don't like my choice in this hand. So we lead for 105, early position, middle position, and the small blind all call, and we're going 4 ways to the river, which comes the king of spades and the king of hearts. When it's checked to us, the board textures haven't changed on either board. Since our opponents have only called on the previous street, we decide to continue our aggression betting the full pot of 525. Since we have 2 8s in our hand, and there's an 8 on the second board, it'll be hard for us to be beat on the board where we have the second nut straight. In addition, non-nut flushes on the second board may give up to this aggression, allowing our set of 8s to scoop that side should we find a caller. Another player shoves all in for 450. He winds up turning over Queen 10 8-3, having the miracle case 8 with a magical 10 to win the board I was strongest on, but fortunately doesn't have clubs or a straight on the second board, allowing our set of 8s to secure half the pot.
You got a straight to the 9 on the top and a set of 8s on the bottom. Oh, he had the last 8, huh? All right.
Second
That was the board I thought I was winning.
For 1 3
So,
no limit.
Looks like we're chopping. He's got Queen of Hearts, 8 of Hearts, 10 of Diamonds, 3 of Clubs. There's only 1 8 left in the deck, so.
You did not want a diamond, and I had 7-10 on the bottom. Like, I wanted somebody to bet the flop. I'm repotting the flop if anybody gets there.
Nice answer.
Nobody bet the flop.
Gordon.
Thank you.
For 1 3 no limit, Gordon.
Nice bet.
There's a $20 straddle on. We're in the small blind and look down at ace-ace, queen-queen, suited in spades to our ace. Middle position, the hijack, both call for the 20. We call 20, the big blind calls 20, the first straddle calls 20, and now the second straddle, surprise, surprise, absolutely can't help themselves, and makes it $125 to go. Middle position and the hijack both call, and now we drop the motherfucking hammer, announcing pot to $665. The straddler now cold calls for half his fucking stack because that's a thing. The flop is not a favorable looking one, falling at 9-5-4 all hearts. We check and our opponent shoves.
He goes all in. Can I get a count, please? Why are you rooting for him?
I'll root for you if you call.
He's all in for $640. We have to call $640 to win a pot with almost $2,300 in it, and we're getting more than 3.5 to 1 on our money, so we only need to have around 22% equity for our call to be break even. Unfortunately, we don't block the flush at all, so we could already be drawing virtually dead. However, given how crazy this player has been and the pot odds, we eventually make the side call. He would likely shove his bluffs in this spot as well as his value hands, given the massive size of the pot compared to our remaining stack sizes. He only runs once, and now we get to see that this player must have escaped from a fucking poker insane asylum, as he turns over King-Queen 3-3 with the King-Queen of Hearts. Pre-flop, when he put in half his stack, we were a commanding 74% equity favorite. But on this flop, our opponent is a monster favorite with more than 95% equity. The turn comes the 4 of clubs, giving us some semblance of hope that we can catch an ace, queen, or 4 to boat up and win this pot of close to $3,000. But the river unfortunately falls the 9 of spades, and we double this fearless man up. We're playing a $15 double board bomb pot from under the gun. We're dealt 9-8, 5-2, suited in diamonds to our 9. The flops come down Jack 7-4, rainbow, and 9-9-6 with 2 clubs. It's checked to us, and we've got a double gut shot on the top board, needing a 10 or 6 to make our straight. On the bottom board, we have top trips with a weak kicker and no flush blockers. Given we're under the gun against the rest of the field, we exercise pot control and check it over. It's checked all the way around. The turns come the 5 of clubs and the jack of diamonds, and now one player leads for 75, and we just call. Yes, we've turned the nuts on one board, but we could already be drawing dead on the second board, and our straight is still vulnerable to a board pair or the flush coming in, so we can't get too crazy. 2 other players call, and we wind up going 4 ways to the river, which comes the 6 of diamonds and the 7 of diamonds. The player who bet the turn continues betting the river, putting out 100, and we've got the nut straight on the top board, and with 3 of the 9s accounted for, our opponent would need the case 9 plus 1 of the 3 remaining 8s just to tie us there. We've also made a straight on the second board, however, it is a paired board, and when we block some of the full houses, we decide to just call. We're hoping to pull in the 2 players behind us to increase the half of the pot we expect to win. One opponent behind us calls as well. The bettor turns over 8-7-6-2 double suited in clubs and spades, having made a smaller straight on the top board. The third player doesn't show, and we scoop the whole thing. The $10 straddles on, and there's been a raise to 35. We're on the button holding ace-ace, 8-2 suited in clubs to our ace. Yes, we've got aces, but aside from having one nut suit, our side cards are pretty shitty, so we just make the call. If someone gets squirrely behind us, we can always go for a back raise. We wind up going 5 ways to a flop, which comes Jack 6-3 with 2 clubs. There's a pot size bet of $180, and when it folds to us, we've got our overpair of aces and the nut flush draw on a flop that isn't really all that coordinated to cause us to worry about multiple straight draws. We announce pot raising it to 720. It folds back to our opponent, who thinks for a while, and then he says, "I was really on the hook the whole way if you hadn't done that." And he winds up folding King-King 4-2 for an overpair and a gut shot. The $10 straddle is on. We're on the button holding ace-queen, queen-8, double suited in spades and hearts. The cutoff calls 10, we call 10, the small blind calls 10, the big blind calls 10, and now the straddle, as usual, can't help himself and makes it 35. The cutoff calls 35, and here we could pot to isolate with position, but with a nut suit, a high pair, and high card strength to make strong full houses and straights, plus being on the button, we're okay pulling others into the pot as well, and we just make the call. We wind up going 5 ways to a flop, which comes Jack 10-5 with 2 spades. Now the straddler leads for 140, and when it folds to us, you know what? Fuck this guy, fuck him right in the bumhole. We've got a double gutter, any king or 9 will give us the straight, we have the nut flush draw, and we have backdoor hearts as well. Let's say we give our opponent Jack-Jack 7-6 suited in hearts and diamonds, so he has top set and some backdoor straight possibilities. We are a dead even coin flip in that situation. This is why combo draws are so fucking strong in PLO. So much of the deck works in our favor that even facing top set, we wouldn't be concerned. And since this maniac straddled under the gun and then juiced the pot while out of position against multiple opponents, he doesn't even have to be anywhere near as strong as top set here. He could just be a gambling degenerate desperately trying to pay for my cat's food this month. So anyway, we make it 570.
570. Are you still recording?
I'm still recording. We pot the 570.
So let me ask you a question. If you lose the pot, are you going to edit that?
No, I show when I lose too.
Yeah.
I show when I make mistakes. I call out when I make mistakes.
My opponent shoves all in, and we agree to run it twice. The boards run out the 9-2 of clubs and the 8-ace of clubs. And our opponent reveals King Queen Jack 9. So when the money went in, we were a commanding equity favorite, almost 73% to win, and around 1% to tie. Just a dream fucking scenario that turns into an absolute nightmare, as on both runouts I managed to escape the jaws of victory, watching my opponent just make nut on both runouts to the tune of $1,025.
I got the straight and an ace.
Wow.
Oh shit. Alright, he's got King of Hearts, Queen of Diamonds, Jack of Clubs, 9 of Diamonds. That's the run out. Oh, wow. How bad do I run? Thought that 9 was good for me. Now I got 2 queens, he's got the queen too. Ayah. Sakadilla! Like, there's no spades in the deck?
1,025.
Oh yeah. Alright.
Only maybe like way back in the day when what's his name?
Jesus. Eight.
Yeah, and then he went on to the
1,025?
Yes.
Alright. Double check it. Oh yeah. It's painful. You didn't have any spades either, did you? No. No, can't find a spade, man.
We're in a double board bomb pot holding ace 10 7-4 suited in clubs to our 7. The flops come out ace 3-2 with 2 clubs and king queen 4 rainbow. The opponent on our right bets 50, and after taking a beating on that previous hand, we decide to go with this hand on our short stack. We flop top pair, a weak flush draw, and a straight draw on the top board, plus a gut shot straight draw, bottom pair, and backdoor clubs on the bottom board. So we're all in for 115, and only original better calls. The runouts come the 5 of clubs and the jack of spades, and then the jack of clubs and the 6 of spades, and our opponent announces a set on the bottom, but we've made our flush and our gut shot straight and wind up scooping. Of course, we scoop when we have no money in front of us. We're in another $15 bomb pot holding queen 9, 9-2 suited in clubs to our 9 on the button. The flops come down 8, 7, 5 with 2 clubs and queen 10, 9 with 2 spades. There's some betting, and when it gets to us, we decide to fold. For those who may be more used to playing Hold'em, you're probably losing your minds wondering how I can possibly fold a flush draw on one board and a set on the other board. Well, in PLO, these are trap spots. Our flush draw is extremely weak, and aside from that, we don't have much going on the top board. Our set on the bottom board is also in rough shape because a straight is already possible, there's a spade flush draw we don't have, the queen in our hand blocks us from boating up, and even if the board pairs, we'd have the bottom full house, which is a money burner in PLO, as you'll frequently see set over set spots and full house over full house as well. You don't want to be the player chasing the bottom end of these draws. Of course, this is the one time in a million where we would have made quads on the turn and won half of a nice pot, but that doesn't change the fact that our hand is a fold in this spot, because long term we'll lose more money than we win trying to chase, or when we hit second best hands we won't let go of. The $10 straddle is on, and we're in the cutoff holding ace-queen, 8-7, suited in diamonds to our ace. There's 2 callers, we call, and now the button makes it 65. The big blind calls, the straddle calls, one limper folds, one limper calls, I make the call, and we're going 5 ways to a flop of queen, 5-2, rainbow. A player in the blinds bets 325, and this is a board that shouldn't hit anyone too hard given we have a relatively small stack size compared with the pot. We decide to make our stand with top pair, top kicker, backdoor diamonds, and a backdoor straight draw. So we're all in for 265, and we both agree to run it twice. And it comes out 10 queen and then 3-2. And our opponent turns over the 6-5, 4-3, having flopped a pair plus wrap straight draw. So when the money went in, he was a slight equity favorite with 54% equity to our 46, but in the end we wind up chopping it up. We limp under the gun holding King 3-3 suited in clubs. This is one of those tricky hands, as you'd think having 2 pair in your hand is great, but the pair of 3s can get you in a lot of trouble. It's not going to be flopping you top set, so you're really only playing this hand based on the strength of the kings and the suitedness of one of them, which can also get you into trouble when you run into the ace-high flush in an opponent's hand. Still, if we can see a relatively cheap flop, it's okay. Under the gun +1 makes it 20, 6 players call and we call as well.
Heads up.
Heads up. So we're going like 8 ways to a flop.
The flop comes down King 9-8 Rainbow. When it checks to us, we flop top set on a board that presents multiple straight draws. With the current nuts and a bloated pot, it's not timed for us to get cute, and we lead red out for the full pot of 160. Now one player raises it to 400 to isolate us. We get the rest of our stack in, so we're all in for 415, and we agree to run it twice. The boards run out the 9-2 of diamonds and also Queen 6 on the second run out, and we wind up being super fortunate that our opponent not only flopped all 3 pair, but also bottom set showing King 9 8-8 in his hand, meaning he was drawing to just 1 out.
Alright, I see 8-9 for a boat.
I got a boat.
He's got a bigger boat, king's full, and then he's got the bigger set. 1 moment on the count.
Best dealer! Best dealer!
Post on YouTube?
Yeah, under Poker Jesus. Jeezus. Although I can usually only get 1 video out a week, but I play like 5 times a week, so it's or 4 or 5 times. So yeah, I'll be like way behind. Yeah, you won't see this for a month. No, I show my losses. Trust me, I call myself out. Like when I play bad, I'm like I'm a fucking idiot, and here's why.
Alright, here's the 415, the rest of your 14, 415.
He could have hit running 9s.
The rest of the top.
Trust me, the way I run.
Button is right.
Thank you, sir. Doing the Lord's work. Thank you.
Bomb pot time.
The $10 straddle is on. We're in the big blind holding Ace King 8-2 double suited in spades and clubs to our ace and king. There are multiple callers, and the straddler, the same guy who got us with his King Queen 3-3 earlier, has since moved his seat to my direct left, and of course he pots it to $85. He's been an absolute beast, refusing to step off the gas and gets 0 respect on his raise, so we wind up going 6 ways to a flop, which comes down Jack 10-5 with 2 spades. We flop the nut flush draw, a gut shot straight draw, plus backdoor clubs as well. Overall, a pretty favorable flop. We could lead here, but we opt to check, figuring our opponent may continue firing shells. It checks to the cutoff, who now bets 425, and despite having just gotten these chips, we shove all in for 815 total. Our opponent only wants to run it once. Hold my wine, bitches! And the turn comes the 8 of spades, or as Rampage likes to say, Bink City, as we now have the ace-high flush. The river comes the 8 of hearts, and our opponent reveals Jack-Jack 7-3 suited in hearts, having called a raise with that pre-flop and then flopping top set.
Oh, come on. God. I had an 8. How do you catch running 8s?
When the money went in, our opponent was a solid 62% equity favorite. The turn flipped the script and we were almost 78% equity at that point, but the river crushed our dreams. Why did I choose to become a poker player? I should have just been a doctor like my mother wanted. We're on the small blind holding Queen Jack 9-8 with no suits. There's a live straddle to 20 and multiple callers. We call as well. The maniac in the big blind, of course, raises to 100 because he just can't fucking help himself. And there's 2 callers, and you know what? Fuck that guy, fuck those guys, fuck all these guys. We announce pot for a whopping $200. Let's just fucking quadruple up.
Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. You're cool. And fuck you, I'm out.
The maniac re-raises to isolate me, making it 700. One player folds, but the player on the button decides to call while still having money behind.
Oh, I hate leaving my kids out there. Alright.
Holy shit. All right.
We've got a shot at quadrupling our stack, and with any luck, the maniac will push out the other guy post-flop, and I'll only have to beat one hand to do it. The pot size I'm showing will only reflect the main pot I'm eligible for, not their side pot action. The flop falls Ace, King, Queen with 2 clubs, and the maniac announces all in.
Alright,
You want to go once or twice?
I'm at one time.
He's a one-time guy. All right, they're both all in. All right, well, this probably can't be good for me.
Hold my wine, bitches! The turn is the 10 of diamonds, and we've made the nut straight, so now we just have to fade a board pair or a club. The river is the ace of spades. And of course, the maniac turns over king, king, 5, 4. So once again, we get there on the turn in a big pot, and once again, the board pairs on the fucking river to dash all our hopes and dreams yet again. Looking at the equities when the money went in, we had 38%, on the flop just 15%, on the turn almost 78%.
God damn. That turn was beautiful, bro. Turn was positively beautiful.
And for the river, the king's four will take it.
Sakadilla!
This is...
Why did I choose to play poker? I should have just been a school lunch lady like my mother always wanted.
Get out of my kitchen.
Rose, you don't understand.
No, you don't understand. I have spinach to cream, but I don't mind creaming you two first. Now get out.
Really, we have to...
Gordy, I see pain in your future, and I don't need the beans, baby, to see it. Now get out. Get out.
We're doing $200 bullets because we're getting fucking destroyed. We're on the button. It's raised to 35. Pot, motherfuckers.
It's going to be 120, 120.
120. There's a repot.
400 even, 400 on the nose.
From the original straddle.
And all in.
Twice is nice.
He's offered twice. You don't care, then 2 times of this guy.
Let's get aces. See how we lose this one.
You got naked aces. No, that's naked, man. You need the board to pair that one. You have to have that. I have 2 pairs.
Of course you do.
I have a straight.
I have a set. Can I get there?
Nope. All right, it's going to be a scoop.
Suckadilla!
Here's 200 plus.
King of clubs, queen of clubs. King, queen, 2 of spades, and a 3 of hearts. That's what I fucking lose to.
Okay, we're starting to get a little fucking unhinged. Just editing this vlog is giving me PTSD. We're under the gun +1 holding king, queen, jack 4 suited in hearts to our king and call a $10 straddle. The maniac on our left makes it 45, there's 2 callers, and we're just ready to watch someone lose thousands while we lose hundreds, and we shove all in for 200. The maniac just calls, 2 other players also call, so once again we've got a shot to quadruple up while possibly only having to beat one opponent at showdown. Let's fucking go already. The flop comes down 8-5-2 with 2 hearts. It's check to the button, and he bets $600. The original raiser makes the call. The third player gets out of the way. The turn comes the 9 of spades, and now the original raiser bets the pot of $2,015. The other player shoves all in for less, and they're running it once. The river comes to 6 of hearts. We get excited thinking we've just hit our jing card, making the second nut flush.
River is
all right, for the side pot first, gentlemen. Showdown. I see 6, 7 for the
Of course.
Ace, queen for the nut flush.
Of course he has the nut flush. You know what? You know I got the fucking second nut flush, right? Of course. Suckadilla!
17, 15 on the side.
I wish you had pushed him out. Got a double board bomb pot. We are in the big blind. Let's see if we can win one. It hasn't been looking good.
Okay, we're dealt king, king, 8-2 suited in diamonds and see 2 flops of ace, jack 10 rainbow, and queen 10-7 with 2 diamonds. Having flopped the second nut flush draw plus blockers to the nut straight, we bet the pot of $60 on our short stack.
Pot. All right, we bet pot $60. Why are you laughing? Oh, you already know what's coming. Oh. I thought you're laughing because you know I'm going to get fucked somehow. Ah, here comes. Here comes the fucking-ing.
We get 1 caller. The turns come the queen of spades and the 3 of spades, and we shove our last 125. And the rivers come the 3 of hearts and the 2 of clubs, and our opponent turns over king, jack, 10-6 double suited.
Best dealer! Best dealer! I'm gonna give that to you before they take it from me. Yeah. I'd rather you get it than they get it.
The live straddle is on, and it's been raised to $75. We're on the button holding King Queen 10-2 double suited in clubs and spades. There's one caller, and we just shoved for 280. The straddle cold calls, the razor calls, and the guy who called the 75 also calls. So once again, a shot to quadruple up, and maybe only have to beat one of these fuckers by showdown.
All right, if I win this, I'm going home. If I lose this, I'm going home. That's that. No, I said if I lost it earlier, I was going home. But if I win this, I'm going home. If I lose this, I'm going home.
The flop comes pretty favorable. Queen 8-2 with 2 clubs. We flop top and bottom pair, the second nut flush draw, and some backdoor straight possibilities. All in all, we're pretty happy to see it. The cutoff shoves all in for 200 and gets called by both of the other players. Here you go, homie. The turn is the beautiful, the stupendous, the amazing ace of fucking clubs. Bink City, we have the fucking nuts. We block some of the full house outs, and we're looking really good to quadruple up and take a bite out of this deficit we're running today. Winning this pot won't get us unstuck for the session, but it will help. It'll fucking help. The other 2 players check, and we go to a river. No, it can't be. Not again. The river is the 4 of clubs. We dodged the board pair. We've already spent this $1,100 pot in our minds, but then...
What, he has a straight flush? Come on! Are you fucking kidding me? I flopped 2 pair, I turned the fucking nuts. I turn the fucking nuts and I lose to a straight fucking flush. Sucker dealer!
I should have been Willow's stunt double like my mother always wanted. All right, this was another rough one to put together. At the end of this session, I was down $1,800. I had a lot of spots where, I was getting the money in fantastic and I was just getting crushed. Or, I'd hit my turn card and I was way ahead after the turn. It was looking great and I just get destroyed on the river, every all-in pot. I've got a guy calling off half his friggin' stack with King Queen 3-3 against my ace queen queen, and I fucking lose that. I've got another guy calling $280 pre-flop with 3-4-4-5. I make the nut flush and he just fucking rivers the one outer gut shot to the steel wheel. It was just fucking, I want these guys playing this bad. They're desperately trying to give me all their money. They're just throwing fucking money at me and I just can't catch it. And that's PLO. Sometimes it can be really fucking painful. All right, I want to mention a few viewers of the vlog who commented on my last video. You have Patrick G, Peaceful Extremist, and Thinking Player, who all noticed that in one of the hands I misquoted my hand. I had called out that I had an ace-high flush, which I did until the river when I made the bottom end of the straight flush. I missed it while I was playing in the game, and I missed it while I was doing my narration. I did actually catch it while I was editing the vlog. You guys must have missed, but I did have some text pop up mentioning that I actually had the straight flush in that spot, and I was just so focused on the ace-high flush, I missed it. But good looking out, good catching that, guys. I appreciate you watching. Also, welcome to new viewer Preston Shekels, who mentioned with a name like Poker Jesus, he's subscribed from day one, and he's going all the way back to my first video to like them all. I really appreciate the support, man. I hope you'll keep watching, and I appreciate you taking the time to comment. All right, so you guys all saw the pain I went through in this episode, and I actually just experienced a double whammy because while I'm in the midst of editing this video and reliving all these horrific beats, I'm also playing poker this past weekend, and I suffered some more fucking ridiculous beats that will make your head spin. And it made my head spin because I actually have some footage I put together of 4 hands that I played on Saturday, and one of them I lose my shit. The Helmuth inside comes out, and it's not a proud moment for me, but at the end of the day, I'm fucking human. I have a tolerance for pain, and when I was editing this vlog and I'm reliving that pain, and then I play this past weekend and I'm going through the same fucking pain against these people who are just trying to give me the money and I can't get any of it, you reach a breaking point, and I hit mine. So it's not footage I'm exactly proud of, but I'm considering releasing these 4 hands raw, unedited, with no narration, something within the next week or so. If you guys are interested in seeing me suffer through more pain, please leave a comment down below letting me know. You'll get to see this sooner than waiting more than a month for the edited session to come out. So anyway, I appreciate you guys all tuning in, and it sucks that I have another losing session after the big one a couple of episodes ago, but that's the nature of this beast, man. Some days you're the fist, some days you're the face, and that's the way it goes. And you gotta try to keep smiling, but sometimes it hurts, man. So anyway, I'm rambling. That's it for this one. We will see you guys in the next episode.
After watching a video like this, sometimes I'll like it, sometimes I'll leave a comment, and sometimes I'll subscribe. Sometimes I'll even do all 3.